stranded in space, two astronauts debate over accepting their demise, saving themselves, or taking their professional relationship to an intimate level. The latter option sparks both awkwardness and hijinks as their curiosity overrules self-preservation. While playing chess, Jane and Adam have a heated debate about the movie The Martian. Jane believes that the funds spent to save one astronaut could have saved more lives on Earth since it'll only take $1,200 to save one person's life. Adam calculates that with the $1 trillion used to rescue Matt Damon's character, the government could have saved $833 million on Earth. Rolling her eyes, Jane asserts that she already knows her companion is smart but adds that he also looks dumb. Adam, however, makes his final move in chess, beating her and proving that he's smarter than her. After this, the two quiet down. Adam eventually breaks the silence, wondering if Jane truly believes that no one will rescue them. The woman stares out the window, which reveals that their spacecraft is already near Saturn. Desensitized to their situation, she shrugs and assures her companion that someone is probably doing something. Jane then jokes that Benson would probably agree with Adam about the Martian, but their third companion is already a mere skeleton since she went crazy and died. She wonders about doing something instead of waiting for someone to save them, but her companion thinks they should just accept their fates. Over the next few days, the two astronauts keep themselves busy by challenging each other. All the while, Jane tries to maintain their broken ship and document their 3-year extended stay in space. Adam also attempts to grow a hybrid recreational berry plant in their garden, but seeing that it won't flower, he prepares 2 of his last Pop-Tarts out of frustration. They also decorate their spacecraft, befriend the few animals in the greenhouse, and bond over the limited movies they have on board. Soon, however, the many attempts to fix their equipment frustrate Jane, so she starts pretending to be a radio jock over their comms, knowing that no one on Earth will ever hear her. At night, Adam teaches Jane to dance despite her criticism of his music taste. However, the woman calls him out since she found goop in the greenhouse that likely came from him. Adam defends that he thought he cleaned it all up, then comes up with an idea. He wonders about doing it with his companion, and Jane laughs. Adam argues that if they're going to spend their miserable lives together, they might as well get together. The topic is dropped when Adam discovers that Jane has a gaping wound on her leg. He insists that she needs antibiotics, but the woman argues that they have limited medicine, so she doesn't want to waste it. With that, Adam just helps clean her wound. During this, he wonders why she doesn't want to sleep with him, so Jane points out that she's not attracted to him. The man thinks that's actually a good reason to do it since if she's not attracted to him, they can sleep together with no strings attached. This makes her wonder if he's not attracted to her either, and he confirms, though he teases if she wants him to like her. Jane denies this, then wonders if this topic is a debate or a formal proposal. Adam asserts that it's a debate, so if he convinces her, they should do it. Jane warns that doing the deed might make them emotionally attached. This extends their debate to whether or not sleeping together triggers emotional connection. Jane believes that the deed creates satisfying hormones, so the brain makes them think they should stick together. However, Adam refuses to simplify love as a chemical reaction since people sometimes just belong together. He also points out that, according to her logic, doing the deed will make them stick together, so it'll improve their chances of survival. However, Jane thinks one of them can betray the other to gain control over their limited resources. She also reminds him that they're both married. Still, Adam doesn't think it's a problem since being stranded in space with no hope of rescue should give them a pass. Jane doesn't think they have no hope yet since she's still trying to fix their ship, but the man thinks it's a waste of time. Jane asserts that she's still committed to her husband, but Adam wonders how much time she spends with a man compared to when she's been away on missions. Offended, she questions his loyalty to his wife, given that he's practically begging her to sleep with him. Adam corrects her that he's not begging, he's simply giving a new topic for them to debate on to pass the time. After the day, the friends argue over what movie to watch since Jane is tired of Adam's impression of Inigo Montoya from The Princess Bride. She insists on watching Alien, more so when she learns that Adam has never seen it before. This proves to be a mistake since, by the end, Adam is deathly afraid of being in space. Because of this, a scared Adam wakes Jane in the middle of the night and asks to sleep in her room. To ensure that nothing funny will happen, he even puts his blanket as a barrier between them. This becomes pointless since Jane wakes up to find herself cuddled up to him. Only then does she recall that she slept without clothes, making the situation more awkward. The rest of the day continues as usual, with Jane still trying to repair their ship and Adam working in the greenhouse. However, that morning's awkward scenario has Jane realizing how skin-to-skin contact improves mental health. Adam finds it funny that she wants to have skin-to-skin contact but refuses his suggestion of actual intimacy. He insists that the two are in the same vein, hoping that this will convince Jane to finally agree. Instead, she thinks they shouldn't do either if that's the case. As they practice dancing, Jane then comes up with another reason why they shouldn't get together: babies. Only then does Adam realize that they were sent to space without preventative measures. However, he wonders if having a kid in space is a bad idea, pointing out that they have self-sustainable resources. Jane thinks he's losing his mind, so Adam mentions a horrible possibility: being exposed to radiation in space for 3 years might have made them already sterile. This angers Jane, so she storms off and starts ranting to Benson's remains about how men only think about intimacy. Granted, she repurposed 3 electric drills into personal massagers, but when it comes to doing it with a partner, Jane believes it's more complex. The next morning, Adam does the same and rants to Benson. He believes they'll never return to Earth, and even if they do, he thinks his wife would understand if he slept with Jane. With this in mind, he watches the last video he received from his wife, Savannah, making him realize that his wife deserves better than waiting for a husband who might never come back. At the same time, Jane watches her last video of her husband, Tom. She believes the man would have loved to be stranded in space with her since he likes staying in. The idea leaves her in tears while she repeatedly listens to Tom's voice. Equally devastated, Adam eats the last Pop-Tart on board. While she lets her feelings to Benson out one night, Jane realizes that she does miss intimacy. However, she refuses to go along with it, so she plays music to distract herself. But her tape won't play. This stresses her out, so she calls Adam for help. He learns that her music file is corrupted, and the idea that she can never listen to her songs again brings Jane to her knees. This also reminds her of the many things she might never have again, causing her anxiety. Desperate to calm her down, Adam starts singing one of her favorite songs, and in tears, she sings along. The two continue helping each other through their ordeals, spending more time hanging out. Adam even starts helping Jane with fixing their control system. Days later, Adam's experimental berry plant starts flourishing, giving him hope that it'll flower and bear fruit. He's excited about getting high on his hybrid berries, but Jane points out that he'd still have to cook since the chemicals must be heated to activate. This brings Adam's mood down. To uplift his spirit, Jane bakes him her version of Pop-Tarts, and he embraces her in tears. One day, however, they discover that their only goat has died. Mournfully, they use the goat's meat, which makes Adam feel guilty since they bonded with the animal. Jane reminds him that the goat was brought with them to provide food. With a heavy heart, the astronauts take a deep breath and relish the first fresh meat they've had in 3 years. One night, Jane wakes up to pain in her wound, so with no choice, she takes her last antibiotic. Eventually, the woman realizes that Adam hasn't asked about getting together again, so she wonders if he'd be okay to set limitations about making love by other means. She asserts that this is only hypothetical and admits that there's a likely chance that she'll never return to her husband. With the idea suddenly becoming possible, Jane asserts that they only have each other, so she's worried that sleeping with him will ruin their friendship. Adam laughs at this, then assures her that if one of them wants to stop, they'll stop. No explanations are needed. With that, they settle their boundaries and realize that they've agreed to do everything but actual intimacy. This makes them nervous, so they postpone the activity tomorrow. Upon waking up the next day, however, the idea already makes things awkward between them, so they keep their interactions professional throughout the day. Before anything can happen, however, their navigation system finally starts working. This means Jane can fly them back to Earth within 3 weeks. With their condition changed, the two wonder if their deal is off the table. But before either can ask, Jane jumps into Adam's arms and kisses him. The two end up actually getting intimate over the next few days. Eventually, they realize that with their ship heading home, it'll be difficult to explain what happened to their spouses. Still, they agree to cross the bridge when they get home. Soon, Earth is within view, making them wonder what home they'll be coming back to. Adam asks if they can remain friends back home, but Jane's emotions prevent her from giving a definitive answer. The two soon enjoy what little time they have left until finally, they descend back to Earth and return to reality. Hours after landing, Jane and Adam are bombarded with questions during a press conference. When asked what happened to their medical officer, Benson, the two recall how early into being stranded, the woman attacked them, forcing Jane to kill her. However, they tell the press that she died in her sleep, probably due to an aneurysm. Just then, Savannah arrives and kisses her husband in front of the cameras. She then takes him away, leaving Jane to answer to the press alone. The woman soon goes through numerous medical tests, and while waiting, Tom arrives to see her. She embraces him but assures him that if he'd fallen in love with someone else while she was gone, she'll understand. Tom assures her that he's still loyal to her since he never met anyone who could match her. Meanwhile, Savannah apologizes for kissing him abruptly in the press conference. She admits that her team told her their first meeting in public had to go right since she was now a governor, but in truth, she was terrified to see her husband again. She recounts that after he disappeared, she buried herself in work, which led to her attaining her position. Adam assures her that he understands. Eventually, the two astronauts explain what happened during their time in space to their superiors, including their strange inventions and how Benson died. They also undergo a psychiatric evaluation where they insist they're happy to be home. Soon enough, they're waiting to be dismissed from NASA to return to their normal lives. As their spouses leave to tend to the paperwork, Jane and Adam catch up, though the woman visibly keeps her distance. Adam pointedly asks if they'll remain friends, but looking at their spouses, Jane says no. She believes that their time together was a result of being stuck for 3 years. Now that they're free, they have to return to reality. This breaks Adam's heart, but their spouses return before he can say more. With that, he leaves with Savannah. As the two attempt to readjust to normal life, Adam tries to appreciate his hero status while attending numerous events with his wife. Meanwhile, Jane focuses her energy on being a wife while dodging her previous companion's attempts to reconnect. One night, she feels the drive for an adventure, so she invites Tom to Iceland to see the northern lights. He hesitates, but he realizes that his wife was trapped for 3 years, so he sympathizes with her need to see the world. Despite things going seemingly well, the two still felt disconnected from the world. One morning while on a jog, Jane's favorite song plays from her phone, and this brings back the anxiety when she thought she'd never hear her music again. Pulling herself from the memories, she tries to invite Tom to go dancing, but he refuses since he isn't a dancer. Just then, she notices someone named Amber text her husband, and Tom dismisses it quickly. Seeing her suspicion, the man admits that he dated Amber but stopped responding to her when Jane returned. His wife insists that he should have broken up with the woman directly since it's not Amber's fault that she miraculously returned. She asserts that he can't ignore her and act like they didn't have a meaningful connection. However, Tom realizes that she's no longer talking about him and Amber, so Jane hesitantly admits that she slept with Adam. Meanwhile, Savannah and Adam are on their way to a meet and greet, though the husband is tired of attending events. He asks his wife to cancel some appointments so they can have time to talk, but Savannah reminds him that her position demands a lot. She wonders what he wants to talk about, and when he doesn't specify, she assumes that he wants to end things between them. Adam confirms, and the two mutually agree on ending their marriage, though they still have to attend a presidential event a few nights later. There, Adam and Jane finally reunite after leaving NASA. Savannah notices Tom isn't around, so Jane admits that they're separating. The woman tries to dismiss their concerns, though she ends up rambling on about how she married Tom since it made sense, but ultimately it wasn't meant to be. Hearing this makes Adam wonder, though he doesn't speak up. The two astronauts continue the event separately until they are approached by the president. She's heard from their stories that they danced while they were stranded, so she insists on having the two perform for her guests. Jane and Adam refuse at first, but ultimately, they can't deny the president's request. With that, everyone watches the two astronauts dance to a romantic song. As they do, their unspoken feelings are ignited, and they reflect on their time in space. This leads them to nearly kiss, but the song ends and everyone applauds, pulling them back to reality. However, Savannah notices the closeness between them. Because of this, while they're leaving the event, she asks him what happened between him and Jane in space. Adam doesn't deny their relationship, so a tearful Savannah kisses him one last time before leaving her husband. With both of their spouses leaving them, Adam returns to the venue and kisses Jane, assuring her that he chooses her. Jane smiles, finally accepting the connection they started in space. But when she thoughtlessly places her hand over her stomach, Adam panics that she's with child. Jane teases him for assuming and jokes that he only chose her so he can procreate. Adam chuckles and assures her that he chose her not because of any biological or chemical urges, but because he believes that they're meant to be. With that, the two kiss again, only to be interrupted when a journalist photographs them. Now that the public will likely know about the relationship, Jane invites Adam to a trip. Soon enough, the two debate over watching movies while cuddling in their tent. Outside, the northern lights shine above the astronauts who finally found the right person to have their adventures with.
Subscribe to watch more videos like this, turn on notifications and leave a like to help the channel out. Thank you for watching.